What do we got? Who do we got on here? We are just getting started here. We've got all kinds of musky baits lined up. The biggest thing, guys, is if you're watching, tuning in, just go into the comments and they'll start popping up on the bottom of my phone. I'll read them off for the comments that I think are necessary. And we're basically just going to go through all of these baits that I got at the show. I mean, there is a ton of them, as you can see. A lot of love from a lot of different companies. And I'm going to go through why I chose some of them and what situations I think they're going to work in and whatnot. If you guys have any questions or at all during this whole thing, like I said, just comment below. I got a ton of really good feedback at the show in my booth about live videos. People are really, really liking the live videos, the question and answer stuff. I had one guy told me he watched the hour-and-a-half one 4 times, and you guys have just been really awesome. You guys have helped my channel grow a ton here in the last, I'd say, 6 months. It's a goal for me moving forward to keep putting out more and more content for you guys, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. The Lake of the Woods stuff is doing really well. We do have a Week on the Woods series coming again. We did film that. I just haven't got to editing it yet, but it is coming. Do not worry. I think I'm going to post it more towards the spring. And other than that, I think we're just going to talk about some musky stuff. If you guys want to bring up bass questions, walleye questions, Canada questions, musky questions, whatnot, just, hit me up for a good comment below and we'll get to chatting. This is really driven by you guys just as much as it is me. But yeah, as you guys can see, I got a ton of baits here. We're going to go through all this stuff. The more people that are on here, the better. Robert, thank you for the kind words. I've got people that want me to already come to that river. Yeah, I might be there in some point. What was Rob's question there? Any good places to pick up used electronics, mostly locators? Not that I know of. Basically, your best deal as far as like locators is probably going to be, maybe not even used ones, but if you want to buy new ones, go to sports shows. Like Thorn's going to be at the Madison Fishing Expo this weekend. They run deals on their stuff there at the shows. So I don't know a place to get used ones for a good price, but brand new ones, they can help you out at the show. They'll get you a show deal and whatnot. Let's see. Nick, what's your go-to musky bait what's your go-to bait for a new lake for muskie? Definitely a bucktail. You guys can see behind me, I've got a ton of bucktails here. As far as which one, it'd be really hard to pick. Maybe just some double nines. It's a really good color, or really good bait for me. Black's always a good color, gold's always a good color. This is a Kramer that I picked up from the guys at the Kramer booth. Really nice baits. I got a couple of these in 9s. I got some Comets. Of course, I got the new clicker. Got a couple of those. Really cool bait here with the clickers. These should be a really, really cool bait, I think. Gonna definitely catch some fish on those, especially in Lake of the Woods. They really like the Revos up in Lake of the Woods for sure. Let's see. Top strategies for ice out muskies. Well, make sure it's open first off. But yeah, once season starts, really small bucktails, small minnow baits. They like top water a lot here in Green Bay in the spring. Maybe some gliders. Not a big glider fan, but gliders can be really, really good. I think they can help trigger strikes. Let's see some more recommendations to new guys for casting and trolling reels. Trolling reels, you can kind of get away with whatever, as long as you got a decent line counter on them. I think you're good. But as far as casting reels, it kind of comes down to, maybe I shouldn't say you get what you pay for, but I've been having really good luck with the Daiwa stuff lately. You can maybe look into finding some used ones and whatnot, but it's hard to buy, I think, a used reel, but it's definitely something you can do. Brady, yep, I'm going to be fishing with Brady here. If you guys don't know or have heard, the Muskie Battle that just the channel Just Keep Casting puts out, we are going to do another one this year. They're going to do another one this year, and I got invited to fish it with them. So excited to fish that. See some new guys, fish around some new dudes. What baits are you most interested to use this next season? Yeah, and that's kind of why I got all these baits out. I kind of want to focus on this stuff, but you guys obviously have a bunch of really good questions, which is cool. But as far as new baits, This new 7-inch Hex from Phantom, I think could be a really good bait on Green Bay. I got a few of these from the Phantom guys. They just want me to try them, see how they work, but I think this could be a good bait. As far as other new baits, man, I don't know. It's tough to say. I don't think there was a huge like splash as far as like the new hot musky bait. I got some saber blades from Toothy's Tackle. These are kind of a cool bucktail, different vibration. I'm all about different vibrations, even if it's, you know, blades or wire or whatnot. The clickers obviously from Kramer might have been like the biggest thing, but I think a lot of people are really catching on to the stagger stuff too. I had a bunch of people ask me where staggers were at the show. Unfortunately, they didn't have any at the show for Milwaukee, but Nick is doing a promo. Go check out the Facebook page. I think the code is Winter Sucks, and you get 15% off your order of Apaches or Frenzies, staggers, whatnot. Let's see. Have I tried toads yet? I have tried the toads. I can't say I've caught a muskie yet on the toads, but I do like the toads. They got a really cool action. It's not such a pull pause like your standard Bulldog or Medusa. It's more of a lift with your rod tip. The way they're weighted is they're designed to fall straight down and then come straight up. So it's more of a pop up like this versus the stuff like your standard Bulldog or Medusa where it's more of a pull this way. Let's see, what other comments do we got? If I can keep going away, there we go. Nick Linder, of course you chimed in. I was on the ice with Nick this morning. I caught a new PB for myself, but Nick asked best ice fishing snack. Man, those gushers we had this morning were really hard to beat. Tough call. Maybe that called in breakfast burritos from Jordan was pretty clutch this morning. Those were delicious. Have I done any much vertical jigging for muskies? I have not. It's something on my bucket list. I tried to do it last year and was unsuccessful doing it, but it is something that I would like to be successful doing at some point in my muskie career. That is for sure. I will not be at the Minnesota Expo, unfortunately. Thorn Brothers has a show that same weekend, so they're going to be at the Milwaukee Muskie Expo, Minnesota Muskie Expo, but then they're also at the Journal Sentinel one, which is in Milwaukee. So they generally put me down there just because I am a local guy and whatnot, and I don't have to travel nearly as far for that. So I will not be there, unfortunately. Let's see. Ideal temp for pre-spawn walleye bite near Ocano. Basically, as soon as you can get out on the water, the fish will be there and you can catch them. It's just the ice factor. But as soon as you can get out there, they are catchable. They start to spawn, I think, around that 45-degree range. So if you're looking for pre-spawn fish, anything below that, obviously, and then once you deal with your warmer water temps, then you're gonna have to look for post-spawn fish or move further north in the bay. Ready for open water walleyes? I am so ready. I'm so sick of ice fishing and whitefish, and every year I dislike ice fishing more and more and more, for sure. What are my rates for trips? The best way to look at my rates for trips is just go to my website, DougWagnerFishing.com. There's different rates for different species and different times, but your best way to figure all that out without me boring everybody and throwing a bunch of numbers at everyone is just go to the website. Just make sure you spell my last name right, W-E-G-N-E-R. A lot of people spell it W-A, unfortunately. Favorite Hayward area lake? I don't think I've ever fished Hayward. My grandparents have a place on Buckatob, and that's where I caught my first muskie. But I haven't fished in northern Wisconsin for 6-7 years for sure. Do you have any tips on getting strikes in the 8? We travel to Rowan Lake in Ontario every summer. Only seem to get strikes in the retrieve. I would watch maybe one of the videos I posted with Nick. One of the last couple muskie videos I posted, I talked about figure eights a lot. Rowan's a really cool lake. I've got a friend who owns Alexander's on Rowan there. But figure eights are so crucial, and they're really easily messed up. But I think that they can be easily corrected. But you might want to just watch some videos on how to correct those for sure. Lake of the Woods videos rocks. Thank you. Appreciate it. Am I coming to Madison? I'm not coming to the Madison show either. I have to work this weekend on the ice. Really wish I was in Madison versus on the ice. So I think I'm caught up with questions as of now. So I'm gonna go through some baits that I got, because that was kind of the whole spiel on this whole thing. So I've only got a half hour because I gotta be up super early tomorrow. But baits, we already talked about the Phantom here. I had Bill from Slammer sent me or gave me a bunch of Slammer minnow baits. These are nice 7-inchers. These are really nice baits from Bill. He gave me a bunch of really cool color patterns. It's a nice like glitter perch. Muskies on the bay obviously love perch. And here's a really nice prism one. You guys can see, there we go. That's a little bit better. Nice prism color there. And then the standard perch, which is super sexy looking. Really nice bait. I'm sure those will catch fish. Like I said, the Revo tickers right there. You guys can see the tickers. Revo blade. Cool bait. I think these are definitely going to catch me some fish. What else do we got? Oh, here's a little crankbait I picked up at the Ohio Muskie Show. When I go to the Ohio Muskie Show, I basically just look for little cool wooden baits and try and, you know, see something that'll work besides a super shad on Green Bay, and I thought this bait might do the trick. Who knows, it probably still won't outfish a stupid shad, but it just might. I figured I'd try it as I get bored running all the same things. I got some toothy stuff at the show. This is his tidbit. It's a really small spring bait. Blades are a little bit different. If you can see, there's a crease right on the center of it. Maybe the gold one will show up better. There you go. You can see that crease. A little bit different vibration, just a super small bait. They catch fish, I know. Got those in a couple different colors. The red and copper one that'd be good for stained water in the rivers in the spring, I think, on a sunny day. And this is a really cool bait that Toothies makes as well. This is a same thing that blade that's got the bend down the center. But then this thing has 3 single hooks. It's not a treble hook. And there's grubs on each hook back here. So there's actually 3 tails, which is pretty cool. And then the design on it, I don't know how well I'll be able to show this to you guys, but you can see that these 3 hooks are all mounted on kind of this sphere in here, but this rotates, so the fish really can't get leverage no matter which way they spin. So cool bait, really nice color. I think these are definitely going to catch fish. It's basically a Medusa with tinsel with blades. So pretty cool. I got a couple of those. I showed you guys the sabers. Showed you guys some of the Kramer stuff. What else do we got here? Oh, here's just another. God, it's too many baits. Just another Kramer double 9 with the stickers and the blades. Pretty cool. Kramer does it on the front and the back, which is nice because the fish actually see the rear of the blade more so than they see the front of the blade. They're chasing it from behind, right? So they're going to see the back side of the blade. There's some plastic from the bag. Didn't get it all off, I guess. As long as we're talking about bucktails and wire, here's a cool new bait. Pandemonium tackle. Here, single bladed bucktail. Cool thing about this is a bucktail. Let's see how much it flexes. Like, you can bend this thing in half. And, oh, I definitely just hooked myself. Bend it in half just like that, then it pops straight again. But really light wire, probably a little really high pitch vibration, but the components are really heavy, solid, help the bait get down. Like I said, another good spring color, black, orange, or black, red, and copper. Sunny day spring color. I got one in black and orange as well because black and orange is a really cool color. This is kind of interesting. I don't know what they really are, like these little 2 ribbons, but kind of looks like a twister tail. Something that he puts in, but he makes these baits really nice. They've got shrink tube up there and plenty of shrink tube on the back. Nicely built baits. What else do we got? Dying Dog. This is like my new Lake of the Woods bait, I think. I think I'm gonna fall in love with this thing. I'm gonna have Brian paint me up a couple different ones, but this one really stood out for me at the show. Gold with the orange head and orange tips in the tail. Really sexy bait. Excited to throw that one a lot. Let's see. Let's look at some more questions. How far behind am I in questions? Have I ever used any of the Lee Lures baits? I've not. I don't think. Maybe one of his old choppers. I had a friend who had a chopper. I've not used any of Lee's baits. I think Lee makes some cool stuff. I just don't have any of his baits, I guess. Let's see, what camcorder do you use, and do you have any tips on GoPro battery life? Yeah, GoPro battery life, just get the battery packs and run a cord so that you're not dealing with all that stuff. What's your Thorn Brothers rubber rod that I threw, and will they have it at the show? Which one did you throw? I think you threw a 9.6 extra heavy Predator. They probably will have one or two of those at the show, but you might have to get there early in order to grab it. Those are super sick rods. Really, really good for, you know, regular deuces, mag dogs and whatnot. Really, really sick rod. But yeah, I think it's a 9.6 extra heavy Predator. They should have one or two at the show, but they won't bring a whole bunch of them. What's your go-to or best all-around reel? My best all-around reel is a 6.3 Dive Alexa for sure. What are your go-to colors for bucktails in Lake of the Woods? Anything walleye colored is super, super good. I got a cool, let's see if I can pull this thing out of here. Oh, here's another one. A really cool spanky color here, walleye. It's like gold, brown, white, black blades. This is a really good color on the woods. What else do we got? Black and green is a super good one for me. This is just another spanky black and green. Cool thing about the spanky baits is they're 040 blades. I don't have any of my, I didn't get any of my frenzy stuff yet, but the stagger stuff you guys know I like a lot if you watch the videos. I just haven't got that stuff from Nick yet. But like then the new JR4s, JR3s from Mayhem will be really cool as well, I think. Those will be some really, really cool baits for this year. Let's see. Fish a lot. I'm guessing you fish a lot. You look beat. Hope to see you on the big in this year. Yeah, I'm pretty tired. Been fishing down the Milwaukee Harbor the last couple days, and it paid off. But this tomorrow starts the grind for the weekend, the whitefish grind. Those are super long days and whatnot. Not a big fan of the ice fish stuff, but thanks for telling me I look like crap, Bill. Really, really appreciate that, buddy. What's a good bait for open water fishing like Georgian Bay? Man, honestly, I don't know. I know like the heavier bucktails up there are really, really popular, so maybe the spanky stuff, just to cover water. I don't know. That's a really tough question on a body of water I know very, very, very little about. Let's see, hang your bait in the outside corners. I mean, hanging your bait in the inside corner made the biggest difference for me. Correct me if I'm wrong. No, I think as far as figure eights, like I said, I've got a bunch of videos on them. But hanging that bait, you know, throughout that corner, really nice and slow. But then once you get out of that corner, really speed your bait up again and then hang it up in the corner again. So it's hard for me to describe it, you know, while I have a phone in my hand. But check out some of the videos, and I think you guys could figure it out. Just check out the titles. Do you see? I think bait size correlates to the time of season you're fishing in. For sure. I think the fall, it's a bigger bait thing. Spring, probably a smaller baits. The fall doesn't, I mean, whatever. The spring, they're eating, you can get them to eat smaller stuff better than bigger stuff generally because they're not fired up. You know, they're cold-blooded fish, so obviously they're not really fired up to eat something huge. But then in the fall, when the water's cold, they're trying to eat only a couple meals a day, or a couple meals, maybe one meal a week, or a couple meals a week. So they might really slow down their feedings and just eat one large bait every now and again. What do you throw when the fish are neutral? Something different, like that stagger, like I was talking about. Those are like really, really powerful baits, guys. I talk about them a lot, but it's for good reason. The staggers are super cool, and it's his clevis is what makes that whole entire bait. But yeah, something different. But the first thing that comes to mind would be a stagger for sure. What's your wintertime job? Do you guide? Yeah, I work for Brett Alexander in the winter with whitefish trips, and then I also do sports shows with Thorn Brothers and whatnot, is what I do in the winter. Let's see, do you do anything in your retrieve for bucktails other than straight retrieve, like give it a jerk or flare? Yeah, every now and then, even sometimes just a rod like lift, just to, you know, that bait's coming in a straight line, just to get that bait to kind of do one of these. But then you can obviously flare your skirt with a pop of the rod, or, you know, a quick reel or twitch of the reel. How do you like Swimming Dog compared to the other swim baits? Great question. So right here, brand new shallow Swim Dog, super amazing, beautiful looking bait in the water. I did my last muskie video, kind of highlighted this bait here. These are by far the best looking swim bait I've ever seen swim in the water. But I think, I don't know, as far as like catching wise, Swimming Dogs are really good for me on Lake of the Woods, and then they catch fish for me in the spring on Green Bay. But then it kind of goes to like Poseidon's on Green Bay in the summer, and Shedzilla's. This is a different bait that I got. I got two of these, one in the black orange, and then one in like it looks gold, but it's more actually like blue with gold on the back. Maybe hard to see, but I'm just trying out different swim baits, because I do think they can be really effective at times. But these new Swimming Dogs they look so good in the water, and these colors are incredible, and they're just fish catchers. I mean, they work really, really well. I'm really, really liking them. Why they don't work so good on Green Bay in the summer as far as the big ones, I'm not sure. I think it's because these have a little bit more subtle action, and then like the Poseidons and the Water Wolves have a bigger tail kick. I think those fish like that bigger tail kick for sure. But then like look at this paint job on this Invader. Just incredible. Brian does such a good job. I got this Perch Double Dog. This is Brian's perch. This is a new color for Muskie Innovations this year, but like that is the nicest perch color I've ever seen for sure. Super nice. Super, super nice. Loving that. What else we have for questions? How do you pick apart a lake first time unexpectedly? There's a lot of stuff that looks good. Don't get overwhelmed by it. Like Lake of the Woods is really overwhelming because everything looks good, right? So just focus on the really key spots, and be mobile, keep moving around. Don't waste too much time on one spot. Keep moving. Hit the very, very best looking stuff, and then go to the next, drive over to the next spot that looks really, really, really good. I don't think don't get caught up in, taking the boat another 50 yards to get to the next good spot. Just hit it, move, hit it, move, hit it, move. Power fish it, I guess. Don't fish it as fast as you can, and while you still cover the best stuff. What baits would you recommend for shallow river trolling, average depth of 15 feet? I don't know, it depends where you're at. I mean, my biggest fish this last year came on a shallow Invader, trolling one of these. Depth raters are super good trolling baits, and being in a river, they're not overly expensive. It's not like a headlock or something like that, or if you lose in a down tree, that it's a ton of money. But yeah, I don't know, trolling, I mean, Little Ernie's maybe, or something like that, Grandma's, Jake's, stuff like that. Nothing super, super expensive because you don't want to lose them. Thoughts on the Franken-Suick? I think it's a really cool bait. 14-inch Suick. Suick's been around forever. They obviously catch fish. I'm sure the Franken-Suick's going to catch fish. It's just a great action that Suicks have had forever, and they still work to this day. So Franken-Suicks I think are cool. I do not have one, but I might have to get one. That's for sure. You ever fished open water for early season muskies? Yes, I have, in Minnesota particularly. Had some success with it. It comes down a lot of electronics, looking for bait fish, and then just having the confidence to stay in the open water and give it time, because it can happen for you for sure. When do you prefer the Double Dog over the standard Bulldog? When I'm fishing a little bit shallower. So here's a standard Bulldog. This is another super amazing color from Brian. Like a gold with a black back, little orange belly. Beautiful walleye color. Like these Bulldogs are just incredible. Like they're too nice. You don't even want to put them in the water. But this one I'd want to fish when I'm looking to get a little bit deeper. With the Double Dog, you have the split tail, so there's a little bit more surface area for the water, so it doesn't fall as fast. So that's when I'd reach for the Double Dog. If you're fishing over a little bit shallower cover, you're getting weeds or you're getting snagged with the single tail, then go to the double Dog for sure. Let's see. How far do you stay in relation to the structure you're fishing? Clear water, you definitely want to stay off the cover a little bit more, and then dirtier water, I think you can fish a little bit shallower generally. Yep. I don't think. I mean, Tranx 400s are great reels. I don't have anything bad to say about the 400s. I said I just use the Daiwa stuff, like I said. But you said you bought a Tranx 400 at the Chicago show. Yeah, I mean they're all great reels. I can't say anything bad about the Shimano 400s. When you're fishing on Pipestone, did you fish the Northwest Arm and or Schistos? I have fished Schistos for bass. The one day we ran up there, I have fished the Northwest Arm, for sure. Yep. And I didn't even have like room on my table for all my baits. I got what else did I get? There's a newer kind of a newer trolling crankbait company on the market, Trucker Lures. Bob Kimball is the guy's name who makes them. They're pretty cool baits. I don't have one down here. But he makes some really cool stuff. He's making me actually a 18-inch bait right now, or maybe I shouldn't have said that. Sorry, Bob. But some really cool short stuff, like small 6-inch stuff, but then also some 10-inch stuff for specific applications. Who's the painter, Brian? So Brian and Brad are the guys you would see generally in the Muskies Innovation booth. But Brian is like who oversees all the painting of all the Muskie Innovation stuff. Like, these are Brian's patterns. Brian's the mastermind behind all the painting and the colors. He's really, really incredible at what he does. Let's see, how did you learn to fish green bay? Did someone show you, or did you figure it out by yourself? I'd say a combination of a lot of things. I think I tried a lot of things on my own, but there was definitely people who I knew that definitely helped me get to where I am. I just always tried and seeing like the missing link and how to make it better, and kind of tried to, excel on that, or look into that further to better myself on the bay. It's a really cool fishery, but it can be really tough at times, and it'd be really hard to learn completely on your own. And there's really no secrets on the bay. That's the other thing. There's so many videos out there. Like, it's not hard to find people look for the big group of boats. And it's more like, I think electronics are becoming more of a factor than anything. How many times do you go over the same spot in a day that that has produced fish before but is showing nothing that day? Basically comes down to my electronics. If I'm seeing them on my electronics on side imaging, I'll keep fishing it. I have the confidence to keep fishing it for sure. If they're not there, they're not there, and I'll just move on. Thanks, Cody. Appreciate it, buddy. Let's see. What do you think of offshore/deeper water structure for fishing for muskies? Do you think it's a good place to fish, or do you think it is too difficult and waste time? Fishing deeper, I think, is definitely harder. It takes a little more patience, but I think a lot of really big fish use the deeper structure for sure. We're getting a little low on time, so if you guys got some more questions, let me know, but I'm going to kind of run through some more of these baits. I showed you the majority of the stuff so far. I guess these are just some small little bucktails I got. I'm actually just going to cut apart. So just use the parts off, and there's a bell on here. I really like, if you guys can hear that thing ringing. Cut that apart, put it on a different bucktail. I basically just bought this bucktail for that one piece, because these are really, really hard to find that are big enough diameter to fit on wire. Same thing with this one. It's got the bell on it again. But then these blades are really cool. These are a heavier Indiana blade. So thicker blades I'm a fan of. Are all different thicknesses of different blades and wires and vibrations. A lot of things I look into are like the little things, right? They're not like everybody can see the obvious things. I look into the little things a lot. I got a ton of Spankies. Basically, like, this whole corner here is Spanky stuff. Makes some really good stuff. I'm a big fan of the 04Os. But then I got some baits back in the corner here that a customer gave me. This is a double 10 he had made up for me. He shrunk tube the twist up here. Really nice quality. Really nice baits. Really looking forward to using this thing. This is really cool. And then I got a really cool marabou one. This guy actually sent me two. This is an Angry Callahan, is the name of this bucktail here. Like really nice hackle on the back, really nice walleye color. I need to throw more marabou. Everybody throws tinsel every year. I say I'm gonna throw more marabou, but this is the year I'm gonna throw more marabou for sure. For sure. I did get these Spanky 12s. These are 12s. These might be for Canada. The bayfish, I don't really think like 12s that much, but these are gonna be for Canada or Pipestone or somewhere up there cool where big giant muskies will come and eat them. I got like 3 of those in different colors for sure. Really cool baits. But the cool thing about Spanky is that he has so many different color combinations. Really cool baits. You've got the coolest like colored blades. Like there's a red hex blade, and you can go to his booth and just make them up yourself. It's really cool. Where was that one? Oh, this one's really cool. This is like a walleye, black, orange, and gold, but then like a gold blade with a orange tip and then a black blade and orange tip. Really cool. Really cool stuff. But yeah, this was the majority of what I got at the show as far as baits. A lot of cool stuff. Had a lot of cool people give me some baits. I'm really excited to use them. If you guys got any more questions, throw them out there right now. I'll try to run through these quick and get to bed. If you guys haven't, or if you guys probably are subscribers, but if you guys want to see more videos, I've got a bunch of stuff coming, and I'm really excited to be filming a lot more this year. It's going to be more of a focal point for me to put out more videos. Every time you guys like a video helps me. Every time you guys comment on a video, I love seeing the comments. All that stuff helps me. The more feedback I get from you guys, the better stuff I can make for sure. Holy crap, you guys brought in a lot of questions. Let's see. What are your go-to trolling baits for muskies and green bait? Rapala super shads for sure. Do you think Green Bay skis targeted perch late in the summer, then shad later into the fall? Yes, for sure. I think they're on the perch, a little bit of a perch population we have in the weeds, and then shad later on. What is one area in the Midwest that is really unfished for muskies? The UP, the Upper Peninsula, I think is really an untapped place that has probably some really cool fish. Any tips for tiger-only lakes? Just wondering in Idaho. I do not. I don't know anything. I guess I know something about tigers, but I don't know like specific lakes for tigers at all. If you were to compare the Legend Tourney 10-foot to the Elite 9-foot, which would you prefer to throw with and why? Musky rods, of course. I think a 10-footer you could definitely run with just about anything. I think it might be more of a bucktail rod. As far as, I don't like throwing rubber on a much longer rod, like 9.9 I had a rod made this year. But I think that's like the longest I'd feel comfortable throwing rubber with. But the 10-footers are really nice for bucktails. Elites are nice, they're lighter, but they're lighter for a reason. There's not quite as much material, so they might not be quite as tough. But Elites are super nice rods, and the 10-foot Legends are pretty cool too. Let's see. Bought a 7-1 Daiwa last year. Had little luck. Is there typically better time when the year when the reel is this fast is appropriate when it's not? If you want to really move those blades really fast, if you're throwing bucktails with them, it's a great reel for that. If you want to pick up line, if you're using like a glide bait or pulling rubber, the 7-1's a great time for that. It's not the reel's fault, and it's not your fault either. Just keep fishing. It's muskies. They can be really hard to handle. How do you tell the difference between a Stagger versus a Spanky 8.9? So, great question. Spankies have 2 clevises. This is gonna be really hard to show you guys. The Staggers have 1 clevis, and they're always be 180 degrees apart, just like that. Spankies have 2 clevises, so they can collapse, but the Staggers are a 1-piece clevis, so that the blades are always 180 degrees apart, so that when you throw the offset blades, they start up really nice, like it's instant. So that's a really cool characteristic of the Staggers, for sure. How do you pick apart a lake for the first time? You go to it, especially when everything looks. I answered that one already. What selection of Lake of the Woods Oh, what selection of Lake of the Woods for beginners? Probably the Northwest Angle. Okay, so that's where I fish out of. There's just a ton of fish in that area. I think the more I fish it, the more I'm going to different areas of the lake. But the Northwest Angle has a ton of fish in it. There's just a lot of fish. You can get experience with a lot of fish, see a lot of fish, boat a lot of fish. It's just a really good place to have positive feedback from the fish because there's a lot of them there versus other parts of the lake where there might not be as many fish, but they could be bigger. All right, I gotta go to bed. Last question. Best way to set up your camera angles in the boat and best way to keep the cameras running while charged. Again, the battery packs and the cables, like the external battery packs, charge those things up, plug them in, and hook them up. Tips on fishing muskies on the Menominee River. I don't know, man. The further you go north, the less fish there are, and the harder they are to catch. Man, it's just like anything else. I think you just got to put your time in. I can't say I have tips for that specific river. It's a tough one, that's for sure. But there are some big fish in it. How do you know when to leave a fish for some time or go back to it after a follow? Depends how hot the fish is. If the fish is really hot, really fired up, I'll generally give it maybe 20 minutes. If they're pretty lazy, maybe wait for a moon rise, moon set, some kind of major minor weather change, something like that. All right, is it worth the money for a custom rod compared to an elite or tournament? I mean, a custom thorn rod probably is right around the same price as a elite, if not maybe a little bit cheaper. It depends on the features that you want to do with it, but it depends what you want out of the rod. If there's a specific length you want, if there's a specific, like they can customize everything from the length of the rear, the length of the foregrip, the types of guides, the color of the thread on the rods, just about anything Thorn can customize. So really, really cool. But I think that is going to wrap up the video. I said I was going to go for a half hour. We went for 37 minutes. Couldn't shut down your guys' questions. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you've seen the nice array of baits that we got here. And I guess I got a couple upstairs that are still hiding, but I did mention the truckers thing. Those are pretty cool. And yeah, I think there's not too much more. I'm definitely excited for musky fishing to get here. Can't wait for it. Really looking forward to getting out in the water, fishing walleyes. If you guys want to fish at all or have any interest in hiring me, the calendar's right here. It's booking up. Go to the website if you guys want to look at a guide trip, DougWagnerFishing.com. You can see all the rates and stuff listed there. My contact information's on there. So if you guys want details on a trip or whatnot, want to book a trip, let me know. Like I said, I'm a full-time guide for walleyes, smallmouth, and muskies. The channel's really helping my business, and it's all thanks to you guys. You guys are really watching the stuff, which is why I'm doing it. So really thankful for you guys. Had a ton of really good feedback from everybody at the show. Had a ton of people come up to me and say they love the channel, love the videos, and really, really happy to hear that. That really makes it all worth it. There's some times where editing sucks and filming really sucks, and I just want to fish and not worry about the cameras and whatnot, but the comments like that really make it all worth it. I had a guy tell me that, like, he watched my video and it was the reason he caught his first muskie, and he was super excited about it, and like that made my day at the show for sure. But you guys have been awesome. Thank you guys for watching this video, taking a half hour out of your life to hang out with me. Hopefully you guys learned something. Hopefully you guys seen some cool new baits. And yeah, I guess I'll see you guys either on the next video or maybe even out on the water. So have a good one, guys, and we'll see you next time.